4 of the top 7 current NBA players are all international. The last 4 MVP awards have gone to 2 of these players, with 3 of these 4 players finishing top 3 in MVP voting for the last season. International players are actually dominating the league like never before, but with that being said, the NBA media has a serious xenophobia problem that we need to address. Joel Embiid is an absolute force, and while the media doesn't hate on him that much, I still found some awful things that were said about him. It is from Colin Cowherd, so it doesn't hold much weight. We're all aware he's an idiot. But let's check out this game that he made. Trust the process or trade the process.
And now there's stories after they got swept. What do they do with Joel Embiid? And Joy is going to give me a bunch of players and situations. And would I trade Embiid for that, or would I just stay with Embiid and trust the process?
Would you trade Joel Embiid for Bradley Beal?
I would trade the process. Now, I think Bradley Beal is the most underrated player in the league. I would love to get Bradley Beal in a draft pick, but he's what you're looking for.
Joel Embiid for Devin Booker.
I would trade the process. Philadelphia would be a high-end playoff team tomorrow if that happened.
Nah, man, this is crazy. We know how Philly sports fans are. If this happened, it's about to be war on the streets of Philly. But we shouldn't make a big deal out of this, right, guys? He's just playing a fun game.
When I go after a star that's really popular, it is just nothing but hate mail and hate tweets for years until I'm proven right. Westbrook's the last one where you all kind of went, yeah, Colin got that one right.
This might be the only time in history you've got something right, so congratulations.
So my latest target, if you will, is a Joel Embiid. I said last couple of weeks, I'm not building around him, I'm trading him. Number 1, he's beyond high maintenance. Number 2, he's always hurt. And number 3, he vaporizes Ben Simmons' game. And Ben Simmons has to work. Simmons can't play with him because Simmons needs the lane wide open because he can't shoot and he scores at the rim.
Okay, isn't this fucking Ben Simmons' problem? Yeah, let's trade our best player because our other guy just can't operate with him. Joel vaporizes his game, Ben Simmons is vaporizing his own game. Imagine blaming the team's best player for that. You're insane. And I know that Joel Embiid has some injury issues in the past, but let's not forget what Colin had to say there.
And I'm sorry, and I know everybody's getting offended by this, and I know in the PC world we live in, we can't say things like this, but he is now Greg Oden. Yep, he is. And wait until you get a load of the freak of nature called Greg Oden. For starters, his numbers blow Kevin Durant of Texas completely out of the water. Any talk show host, any emailer, any caller that goes on and says Durant should be number 1 in doing their homework or is just trying to incite calls and be controversial.
Is Colin Cowherd the worst sports TV analyst there is? Genuinely curious because he might just be. But that brings me to the next international NBA superstar, Luka Doncic, who Colin also was absolutely disrespecting before he was drafted.
I mean, he's better than Ricky Rubio, but he doesn't look special to me. He doesn't pop athletically. I just don't see a lot of special. The kid at Arizona,
he's got a shot.
There's a little Greek freak there. There's a little.
I think Marvin Bagley's interesting too.
Okay, now I would draft him number 1. He's the Duke kid. Yeah. He is the one guy I would say, all right, that's my number 1 pick.
Bro, this is hilarious. Luka's not special. Ayton got some Greek freak in him, and Bagley's number 1. We went from Asa 9 to Asa 10 to Asa 11.
Now the A in Stephen A stands for Asa 9, Asa 10, and Asa 11.
Shout out Skip Bayless. I'm coming for your ass later on in the video, just know that. But before the 2018 draft, it wasn't just Colin Cowherd saying this. There was a good portion of NBA media that was vastly underrating Luka Doncic.
Important that the Phoenix Suns don't mess this up. He's right there in Arizona. He's right down the road. I don't give a damn about how this kid in Europe looks. I understand he's a 6'8" point guard. He's surreal. He'll probably be the number 2 overall pick. DeAndre Ayton, there is nothing to think about. There is nothing to talk about. There is nothing to debate. There is absolutely nothing to consider. You have to take DeAndre Ayton with the number 1 overall pick.
Oh boy, this was a statement dropped seasoned with a whole lot of xenophobia right here. Oh, that European, why would I care about that European? I get that he's saying this because he believed in Ayton that much, but we know how well this aged.
Than some of the other guys in this draft, and I'm not talking about Doncic, who apparently doesn't react well to pressure on the ball. No, not great if he's going to be a primary ball handler. No, I'm not talking about either one of those guys. I see guys with, at least in Wendell Carter's case, some offensive polish too. And in both cases, real offensive upside. I see much more of the kind of modern kind of star than I do in either Ayton or Doncic, to tell you the truth. Though I haven't seen much of Doncic other than the video that, that we've all seen.
The funniest part of this clip is that Max completely reveals he knows nothing about Luka. Not only pronouncing his name as Doncic, but even openly admitting that he hasn't even watched the guy play. The player he said cannot react to pressure is one of the best playmakers in the league. Now this guy Rashad Phillips, I have no idea who the hell he is, but you gotta hear this for yourself.
His feet is slower than rush hour traffic, okay? Really slow feet.
Really? That's a problem.
He struggled with quick defenders, okay?
Guys defending him.
Oh yeah, guys getting in his pocket, getting after him. Not a great athlete.
You gonna see that obviously in
every night.
He shoots it like he do?
No, he don't shoot it like that. We tend to over-sensationalize European basketball.
We what?
I don't believe he's a lottery pick.
Not a lottery pick?
No, I don't.
Wow. So I'm not loving what I'm hearing about Luka then.
Maybe it's a good thing I've never heard of this guy before. And the worst part is Chris Broussard is actually trying to learn more about Luka and understand how he is as a player, and this fucking guy is absolutely disrespecting him, which is messing up Broussard's view on Doncic at the time.
They're talking in Dallas about the next Dirk. Here's the problem. You want to talk about coming up smaller than Dirk, literally smaller? Doncic is 6 feet 7 inches tall. Dirk Nowitzki is 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 5 big inches taller. Okay? Doncic at 6'7" will get exposed for all of the inadequacies that Dirk's not a great athlete.
No.
Dirk doesn't have explosive quickness, right?
No.
Dirk isn't physical.
No.
Well, that's what's going to happen to Doncic.
Luka Doncic will get exposed because he's not as tall as Dirk. Are you fucking serious, Skip? And if that wasn't bad enough, Skip is still doing what he does best, hating on the highest level.
I am about to launch about how dramatically you and Charles Barkley are overrating Luka Doncic. He is not a superstar by any stretch of the imagination.
If he's not a superstar, there aren't any in the NBA.
Okay, well then there aren't any left.
Okay.
Luka is actually a triple threat of a liability. He is a sorry shooter, a poor shooter. Number 2, he is a turnover machine. He led the NBA this year in turnovers per game. And finally, you missed the point and the boat on all you were talking about. They got to stop the Suns. Luka Doncic is a disaster of a defender.
You know, I'd really like to see Luka win an MVP, just for you, Skip. You know he's got at least one in him. But speaking of MVP, Nikola Jokic has won back-to-back, and Nick Wright doesn't like it.
No one can deny he is an excellent player. I have not denied he is an excellent player. However, I felt last year that he was being elevated to a place a step or two above where he actually was. Instead of excellent player, he was league MVP.
So he's basically insinuating here that Jokic isn't an MVP caliber player. Hey yo, what is this? You telling me 98% of you not subscribed? Y'all better fix up right now before I send the Jokic brothers to your crib.
And last year, I didn't like it, but I understood it. I, in fact, last year said he would be second on my ballot because LeBron got hurt, Embiid got hurt. I said I would have Chris Paul first.
CP3. He had a choice between Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic, and the top of his MVP ballot was Christopher Paul. I cannot believe this. That's kind of weird, Nick. And earlier this season, Zach Lowe had to stand up for Jokic against Perk and RJ.
It's beyond stupid that we frame this as a two-man race. Like, Nikola Jokic is averaging 26.5. Stop. 26.5 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 58% shooting. Nuggets with Nikola Jokic on the floor, plus 14 per 100 possessions. With Nikola Jokic on the bench, minus 16. It's stupid. He belongs in the race, and so does Giannis.
That's how he got the MVP
you know
last
what?
year.
See,
What? He got the MVP last year. He can't get it again?
Because I come on here and I sit and I talk about Chris Paul and I talk about his impact on winning. I talk about what he's doing for the Phoenix Suns and how they have one of the best records in the league. And then all of a sudden we come and talk about Jokic's numbers. Which
Did you hear the numbers?
Playoff picture.
And by the way, I'm not saying he should win. Right now, I would probably vote for Steph. I'm saying this is a four-man conversation. Giannis belongs in it. Giannis belongs in it too.
Giannis, Nikola Jokic, Steph, and Kevin Durant. That's
and everyone else, there's a huge drop-off.
It's not with Chris Paul. Y'all need to stop. Chris Paul deserves to be in there.
I have no problem with you want to put Chris Paul, but Chris Paul's 5th.
And Zach Lowe caught it, even at that point of the season. Saying that Jokic wasn't in the conversation is crazy. That wasn't a two-man race. How can the MVP race be a two-man race in December? Also, Perk has the nerve to again bring up Christopher Paul. But yeah, Lowe caught it and Jokic won, which this time Antoine Walker wasn't happy about.
I think we're losing the point, and I think by picking a Joker, you just open up a can of worms that you don't necessarily have to have a winning season. You know, you look at a Ja Morant, if he doesn't miss 25 games, they finish second in the West. He should be up for MVP. I just think we've just kind of tainted the award.
Alright, EDP445, listen up. The reason he can win the award as a 6th seed is because of this historic season. Historic numbers hold weight. Just look at Westbrook in 2017, and Jokic has another favorable narrative for him since 2 of his best teammates were out. That is a historic season. It doesn't matter what seed he is, he's gonna get consideration. And also the year before, Steph Curry was third in MVP voting as what, the 7th seed? Did you have a problem with that? And get Ja Morant out the conversation, bro. It's way too early. But this right here is actually the clip that made me do this video.
Just the first 5.
First 5.
Steph, KD, LeBron,
Giannis,
Kawhi.
Okay.
Joel.
Is it? Yeah.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
my top 5, I have Steph, KD, Joel, Giannis, and LeBron. I have Joel Embiid top 5.
These are some insane top 5 lists. What are they cooking? I thought for sure Jokic had to be unanimously considered a top 5 player, surely, but the NBA media has surprises for us every day. And this brings me to Giannis Antetokounmpo, the guy who has literally been saving my YouTube career. I mean, just look at this. He's literally saving my legacy. I'm getting carried right now. But anyway, Giannis, he is the next face of the league, if he isn't that already. But you know what? No, that's not possible.
My dog Giannis. That face? To be the face of the NBA? No, not possible for him to be the face of the NBA.
You?
Yeah, it's not possible, Selin. Why is it not possible? You can't be the face of the NBA if they can't pronounce your last name. Ooh.
I mean, it's really not that hard. Antetokounmpo, 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 Antetokounmpo.
Now with that being said, I don't think Luka could be the face either. Stop it. And it comes down to this, Sel. The first reason you have to be a face is relatability. The only thing stopping Giannis from being the face is the fact that he's not American. Like, we got to call a spade a spade. I don't think that's not it. Luka would be the face either.
Sounds about xenophobic. I mean, can you really get more xenophobic than that? He's not American, he can't be the face of the league. But trust me, Giannis gets a lot more disrespect than this. Check out this video where I talk about the disrespect that needs to stop.
But at the end of the day, I never stopped coming. I'm always gonna come, no matter what the outcome's gonna be. The outcome is not always pretty.